Good evening, everyone. Thanks for tuning into PhillyCAM Voices. I am your host, Amanda Johnson. Last month, Mayor Kinney announced the establishment of a new agency called Office of Violence Prevention. Joining us to discuss will be Director Shondell Revell. Welcome.
Welcome.
We have an awesome topic about what is going on, what the changes are. So what does the Office of Violence Prevention do, and why does the mayor feel it's necessary to establish it?
Well, I mean, just look at what's going on in the city. Nationwide, the violence is increasing, and we're all thinking of what should be done, what new programs we should kind of implement. I think that in the administration that we have, forward thinking, we need to step back for a minute. They created this office to take a look at all the city services and the money that we're spending on these city services, and are they effective, and if they're not effective, how can we enhance them? You have to really ask yourself a question. If you have multiple services in an area and the crime keeps going up, what are we doing wrong? Is it something that we need to implement more, or is it something we need to change? So we'll be doing a series of evaluations on the multiple programs that we fund, and then during those evaluations, it's not just going to be a regular audit. When you hear audit, you think what? You pull files, you look at the contract. We're going out to communities and talking to people in the communities and seeing how the organizations, how they feel about them. Right. We as leaders, the city of Philadelphia, and the people who provide services, we're leaders, right? Right. But if the community doesn't see us as leaders, then whatever service we have is not going to be effective.
Right. Now with the number, like you mentioned, violence going up, gun violence going up, right. Everybody's seeing the $6 million sign.
60 million.
$60 million sign. I've read the articles and they're saying $60 million.
They think I have a $60 million budget, but that is not really true. No. We are spending 60 some odd million dollars on programs to prevent violence, and it's a broad stroke, right? Mm-hmm. And when you look nationwide, I believe it's a small amount. Right. But I think I'm pretty sure that what we have is doable, sustainable for right now. Right. We can look at it in a way where, are we actually spending the money correctly, like I said before, and are they in the areas that need it the most? Because if you look at all the services citywide, and they're spread out, and there's numerous services. There's a lot more when we started digging into it than I actually knew, but there's a lot of also small mom and pop shops that are doing really good job that aren't funded, or underfunded, so you can't really put it in the same box or category as the organizations that are being funded. We have to look outside of that sometimes, so when doing the evaluation, we also got to look at, like I said, the small mom and pop shops who are doing a good job in the neighborhoods that might need to be funded, or underutilized, or that might need extra services that the city can provide, so it's a broad stroke when you're looking at just how's the 60 million being spent.
Now, regarding to violence, when you do your research, what are some of the trends that you are seeing?
Well, you've seen an uptick in stabbings, it's an uptick in stabbings, but if you look at the economic situation that the neighborhoods are in, you're going to see things like domestic violence going up. You're going to see like gun violence going up, and a lot is connected to drugs, but a lot is just connected to the way people are living, the way they feel about themselves. As I said before, a lot of people lost knowledge of self. They walk outside in their neighborhoods and they fear, or they're so callous to what's going on, they're just numb to it. So in doing that, they gravitate to what they know, survival. It's not justified, but you have to kind of understand where they're coming from to provide the services that they need. People are in desperate times, And now more than ever, we need to make sure that the services that are out there are providing what they need. We need to be the monitor for that. The city's taking a role on, I've taken a role on to assure that everything that's being spent is being spent in a positive way to help support the community.
So what are some of your goals to connect the other groups that are out there already doing violent prevention?
Well, my goal, first and foremost, as I said, is to value what we have, but then also bridge the gap. As we were talking before, you have agencies that are doing great work. And a perfect example you said, about the Salvation Army, but they don't have vans to kind of get the people to where they need, and there's a lot of small areas that have good community-based organizations, but are underutilized and undersupported, right? So in looking at that, we look at what services we have and try to bridge that gap. How can we make the connection between big organizations and small organizations, or even collaborate two small organizations together who are doing the same work 4 blocks away from each other, right? But they've never talked in years. Mm-hmm. But once you match them together, right, and maybe put some support around that, you can build a great collaboration.
So from your experience, what are some of the things that you think will help buy the community into what's going on to get them to support the different activities and events that are going on?
I think you got to be straight transparent, and you have to talk so people can understand. Too many times we talk at people, and it just happens, right? Mm-hmm. Too many times we forget where we come from, but if you look at it from their eyes and their perspective, you have to be honest to people. You really got to be honest about the situations, and you have to listen to them. People are going to complain. That's fine. And in most of the complaints, you're going to hear the truth.
That's true.
But what are you going to do with that truth? Because sometimes the truth requires you to look within yourself. So when we're talking to the community and we're having that real conversation, sometimes reflection would be on the services that we're supporting that aren't benefiting. And we have to really take that into consideration and do what we can do to kind of really help people get out of these situations.
Now, I know that we are going to be focusing on getting the word out. I know you're going to be doing an awesome job. But if someone is like, okay, I know some people that could use these services, how can they get in contact? How can they connect?
Well, right now we're in the process of developing a website, and we're in the process of and we're only a couple weeks old. Mm-hmm. So we are in the process of figuring out how to navigate through those avenues, how people can call in for resources. I don't have a number right now that they can call, because I don't want to just give a number out and have nothing behind it. But I guarantee this much: once I have the information, I'll make sure that you get it, okay, so it can be disseminated out to people who actually need it.
So we thank you so much for joining us this evening. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.